It is Monday, November 24, 25, live in the building, Level Up College Football Podcast. Sarah C., Theresa-B, holding it down. Y'all, it's rivalry week. It's something to get hyped about. We got some diabolical mess going on already in the live chat. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Share with a friend. Get your college football level up game day knowledge on. I got to say what's up to my co-hosts, Theresa-B and Sarah C. What's happening, ladies? What's going on with you?
I'll let Theresa go first. She hasn't been here in a while.
I know. I'm back. I've just been dealing with some things and, but I'm here. I'm just getting prepared for this week. My family's not coming for Thanksgiving, so I am going to do I'm trying to do a smaller Thanksgiving dinner for myself, but I'm also going to go visit some friends. So that's like my preparation for this week. Josh, trying to chill and do what I need, watch all my Christmas shows, my football, and I'm good.
That's what I'm talking about. Sarah, what's going on with you, girl?
Yeah, looking forward to having Thanksgiving and then looking forward to this weekend. I will be there at I think, one of the best, matchups every single year because you never really know what's going to happen. But I will be there in Ann Arbor on Saturday, cheering on our Buckeyes, being surrounded by Michigan fans.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I heard they only sold like 9,000 tickets, but we'll get into it. But listen, y'all, it's rivalry week. All right. So it's a big time show. We got some big time games. So to do that, I got to pull in my boy, Big B, man, of the Big 12 College Football Podcast. Big B, man, what's cracking, man? And for all y'all that don't know that while also still is Almighty and Steel Curtain Network, this dude knows more about college football than that. Trust me, I'm telling you what I know. So I had to pull him in this week. What's up, Big B? What's going on with you, bro?
What's happening, man? What's going on? What's going on? Big week this week all over the country. I can't wait.
Man, I'm so excited about this week. As y'all can see, I'm already Buckeyed up, but somebody on this panel has got a little issue. We'll talk about that as we go through the show, man. I ain't going to say no names. I ain't throwing nobody under the bus. I ain't saying none of that. I'm just saying, hey, somebody got an issue, but we're going to find out who it is here shortly. Listen, I want to say what's up to the live chat. Pickens, you big dummy. Big Punishment, Tim Lyon, Swoozy. Man, we get about 50 to 100 people that fall in every week. Make sure you chat it up. And super chats are now back available. The KnoItAllz podcast done worked out all the business stuff that we needed to work out. So we're good to go with super chats. So if you want your chat on the screen, make sure you super chat us and we'll go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the week that we have been waiting for all year for college football. It is the big time shows, big time games, big time performances. I mean, college game day is going to be at one location. Big Noon Saturday is going to be at another location. This thing is going to go bonkers, and it's going to start on Thursday. So we got a big show to talk about, a big slate of games, but we can't even get to that until we talk initially about this Heisman Trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, my panel, my co-hosts, my panel, I can't tell you who's going to win it. I don't know, and I got to get you guys' expertise, so I don't know. So, B, you the guest today. Give us your knowledge of who you think should win the Heisman Trophy for the 2025 season, bro.
I mean, I think it's all over the place, to be honest. It's one of them years to where there's no clear-cut standout person. It's not one of those years where you're like, okay, this guy is clearly the best player in college football. It's not one of those years. So, you could go a couple of different places. And to be honest, this would be a year that if there was a defensive guy out there, you could say, okay, well, this defensive guy could win it. But there isn't that, So it's like, I don't know. I mean, and like people talk about Heisman moments. Like, okay, what's been a Heisman moment? The only real Heisman moment that I can really even think of is maybe Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. Against Penn State. But other than that, there really hasn't even been really Heisman moments. I know people are saying Julian Sand, but I mean, I'm sure we'll get into this later. I'm like, but who's he played against all year that's been any good?
I agree.
So it's like, I just don't know. I mean, be honest with you. I mean, I guess they could say Love out of Notre Dame. He's best running back, but I don't know. I don't know. This year is all over the board.
Man, I'm feeling it, bro. That's how I feel. So that's why I brought it to the panel to see if we can figure this thing out. Sarah, if you had to pick a Heisman, somebody said, Sarah, look, you got to pick a Heisman right now. Matter of fact, we'll put it to you like this. I'll give you $50,000 if you pick the Heisman Trophy right. Who are you picking to win the Heisman Trophy?
I think if a specific player has a really, really great game this next coming weekend, that we might see it's been my dark horse this entire thing. And I think he's still playing really well. I'm going with Marcel Reed. I don't know. Like saying is exactly that. He hasn't played, but he's doing well. Like I'm very impressed by how well he's been playing this year. Mendoza, same thing. Love, I think Love is the best running back. I think he's going to be a great draft pick this year. I think he'll do wonderful things for whatever team he goes to. He hasn't really had that like massive moment. And the first two games, the hardest games they lost, and you didn't see much of him, which I'm wondering, I was always questioning whether or not he was healthy or not in the beginning. When it comes down to like even those defensive guys, like there was a couple I came up with, but like, I don't know. Like it's really an I don't know, but I'm riding high with Reed. I think if he plays a phenomenal game against Texas and brings back that like fire to that rivalry that like last year and just continues it on, I could see him possibly being that like little sneak in at the end. Yeah,
I feel it. Theresa, your Heisman Trophy winner, if you had to pick one today.
I think that people will probably like, she don't know what she's talking about because, the Heisman candidate is always a quarterback. But I disagree this year because I based my analysis on the individual themselves. Like what, how hard are they working? What were their challenges? Are they mentally clear? Or what is their talent? And what is their consistency? All the virtues and characters that I see that I would like in a partner. But let me digress. But the person that I'm going with is Jeremiah Love. I think that he is, just over and beyond what all people think. I think that he should get it. I think that his performance is consistent. I think that he's challenged and he beats the challenges. I think that he should get it. I'm going with Jeremiah Love. I mean, I have like saying on there, but everybody's right. His resume of the, who he's playing, he's not been challenged as much as other people. So if I could see the adversity a little bit more, then I would be like, okay, yes. But is his precision good? Yes. Is he hitting his target? Yes. But I think that he needs to be challenged a little bit more for me to feel even comfortable with that. And the only other person that I would throw in there is Mendoza. Because from Indiana, I think that he also is a performer. You can't be a number two team and not, have a good quarterback is what I look at.
Yeah. I'll say this, and I'm just being honest. If this was the year, and B, I agree with you. We had Travis Hunter was a two-way player last year. I could see the Heisman Trophy committee going with a guy like Rodriguez out of Texas Tech because just his play alone has been outstanding. I mean, whether people believe it or not, he is the number one linebacker in all of college football. And we got two great ones in Ohio State, but man, Rodriguez is unbelievable. So I could see the committee leaning, saying, okay, we haven't had this standout moment concerning a player in college football. Maybe we give it to Rodriguez. But your thoughts with that, bro?
I mean, look, I cover the Big 12, and I think he's, I mean, you can call me biased. I think he's the best linebacker in the country. Having said that, I don't know. It's be hard pressed for me to believe that they're going to. I know they gave it to Travis Hunter last year, but he was a two-way player. Even Charles Woodson back in the day, while he didn't do a ton offensively, I mean, it would just be hard pressed for me to see them give it to a defensive player. But if they do, he would be very deserving, and I definitely think he deserves to get an invitation to New York. But for me, it's Jeremiah Love. I saw a big pun in the chat talking about 10 carries against the U for 33 yards. And he's right. Miami shut him completely down.
First two games.
But I was part of a team that somebody ran for 25 carries for 43 yards, and they won the Heisman Trophy, and that was Rick Williams. So you can get shut down in a football game against a team and still win the Heisman Trophy. And I would be willing to say that Jeremiah Love's not as good as Ricky Williams. And again, it's 25 carries for 43 yards. So sometimes a team has your number. But so I think there's still a possibility for him to be able to win it.
Facts, man. Tay Boy Fresh, man, from the KnoItAllz. Thanks for the $1.99. It says Michigan Sam was throttled down the last 3 weeks. We're going to get into that a little bit when we start talking about the games, but a lot of that's due to injury. And I got some inside scoop information I've already shared with the panel. There's some diabolicalness going on with the Ohio State-Michigan game this week, so we'll get to it, man. All right, next question. What is the top rivalry in college football? Because there's a lot of debate. I've heard Army-Navy. I've heard the game. I've heard the Iron Bowl, the Egg Bowl. In your opinion, what is the number one rivalry in college sports concerning football? Sarah, I'm going to start with you. What is the rivalry for the week?
I mean, I'm going to be called biased and everything like this, but every single year, I don't care where you are in the standings, anytime, anywhere, that Ohio State-Michigan game always matters because it matters to the players and it matters to the team, no matter where they are in the playoffs, no matter any of that. This game matters. It matters if you win. And then you can, it can ruin your week. It can ruin your month. It could ruin a lot of people if they don't win that game. I've never watched that game and haven't been excited. Last year with Michigan not having much of an offense and still beating them, I was screaming at the television to fire Day. And then, of course, look at what he does. He gets us a national championship. So then how bad can you really be? But I just love the passion of the fans and the team around them that, it doesn't really, you don't see that every single year with these rivalries. I think the Egg Bowl is probably the second most interesting one this year just because of the whole Kiffin thing. But I think that added drama is always going to be what's there. This is just always drama. There's always something going on. It's always a big game. Doesn't matter. Hands down. Yeah. That's me.
Theresa, what you thinking as far as, it's biased because we see what's on your chest. You know what's on my hat. But is it really the game is the best rivalry?
So for me, it has to be because, I'm born and raised in Ohio, and that's all I would hear. I would hear only Ohio State, Michigan, and that's where we go. We're going to do, our chili cook-off with Ohio State, Michigan. It was always a big thing. It was always in my face. So I can't say any other, and it's always the first game. So I always on that Saturday. So it's always the big one. So everybody's going to watch it. And so I think Michigan, Ohio State is one of the big ones. But I will say that I kind of thought about the question a different way. I was thinking about what was the biggest rivalry game that I loved. And I would go back to 2013 when Alabama played Auburn. It was after the Ohio State game went off, and we won. I turned to that game, and that was the one when they ran it all the way back, 103 yards back, and won the game. So it's always good games on that day. So I wouldn't just say that that's not the only one I watch. I watch all of them because you never know. Rivalries, you can be number one in a 10 or number one in a 22, but they're gonna show up on that game. And so I think that they're all good, but my choice would definitely be Ohio State, Michigan.
Got you. B, you from Big 12 country, bro. You from down there in that Big 12 heart of it, right? Now, up north, we got a game. We got a game. But I want to see and know, in your opinion, what is the best rivalry you see in college football in the landscape of it?
Well, I mean, look, Texas OU is gigantic. The problem with Texas OU is that it doesn't happen the last game of the year. And for me, the biggest rivalry games need to be on that weekend. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's in the middle of the Texas State Fair, which if people don't know, that's a gigantic deal. 95,000 people show up and it's split right down the middle. It's in the Cotton Bowl every year. So it's a big deal. But look, I'm a college football purist type of person, and rivalry weekend's got to be the last weekend. I don't care what, which is why games like, the BYU and Utah, the Holy War, that's a great one, but they don't play. The Big 12 for some reason didn't want that to be in the last game of the year. And I'm like, you guys are idiots, but there's other ones out there, Miami, Florida State. The Iron Bowl is big. But you could be all over the country and no matter where you're at. And for me, I think the Big Ten does it right. They put it on at noon. Now, I don't know if it's at noon this year.
It is.
But if it is, I think the Big Ten does it right. They put Ohio State, Michigan on at noon. And no matter where you are, people are going to watch that football game. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying they're always the best teams or anything like that. And the reason that I don't go the Iron Bowl is because Auburn stinks. I mean, the teams have to be good.
Yeah, man.
Auburn stinks. So, okay, fine. And Sarah, you mentioned the Egg Bowl. Like, that was my brother's. It was my brother's favorite, God rest his soul, just because he liked saying the Egg Bowl. But Mississippi State, I mean, but first off, for a long time, both of them were terrible. I go, so it's hard to put them up there. But the intrigue this year is big because I think Kiffin is out of there.
Yeah.
But I would say Ohio State, Michigan, man. It's the biggest rivalry. It just is right now.
It is.
But I think it's also on a rotating type of deal because in the mid-2000s, you're not going to be able to convince me that Texas OU wasn't the biggest rivalry because they kept going to national championships and they were always top 5 in the country. You just won't convince me of that. But right now, it's definitely OU Michigan or OU or Ohio State.
Sometimes they call us Ohio versus saying Ohio State or the Ohio State. But I'll leave that alone right now. But I'm gonna say this: B, you're absolutely correct. How it rotates, because I remember when it was Florida State, Miami.
Absolutely.
I remember they used to go at it.
Absolutely.
Right? But it was not at the end of the season. It was in the middle of the season.
Correct.
I remember when the Iron Bowl meant something. It was during the Cam Newton era, and the Iron Bowl was about something. It was a big time game, man. But I think consistently, and I remember when it was Florida State. I remember when that game meant something. So there was years where Florida and Florida State went at it, and that's at the end. But consistently, it's always been Ohio State, Michigan. My heart does go to the Army-Navy game. I mean, I know it's the week after they play it once everybody gets out the way, but the how it's approached and the respect and the honor that we give to these players that actually play in that game, the special uniforms, all the camaraderie that goes along with it, man. Listen, the game, I don't even want to watch it up until the actual kickoff of the game, and I watch it every year. And that's like hard football to watch because they're still playing like they're playing in the 1950s. They're running wishbone and single back. They're doing all kind of diabolical stuff. And I'm like, okay, but it's still great football, man. So I'm a Buckeye. I'm down with the Buckeyes, but man, that Army-Navy game is right there because of the nostalgia of the game to me, man. Tay Boy Fresh had a good point, man. He said that coaches get fired. Coaches' careers is on the line. Coaches get fired to lose this game. And whether people believe it or not, Mr. Day, that it might be puckering up this year, because if he loses, it's 5 in a row. Ladies, 5 in a row. Just can't take it. Yep. All right, so y'all, let's get to the panel. Let's get to the rundown of the games. What big pun is he always saying something diabolical, man. Once Texas and OU left, the Big 12 is now the WNBA of college football. Stop that pun. Stop. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, pun. Texas Tech could win the whole damn thing. And you better believe it. I don't watch them boys play. They're for real. They are for real. They can win the whole damn thing. And if God forbid BYU sneaks in the tournament, look out. Their quarterback wore 47. He's a dog. Let's say what it is, man. He's a dog, man. He's a dog. All right, so we got the slate this week, the rundown of the games. First game right out the gate. And this is not the first game of as far as chronological order being played. This game's actually being played on Friday. But I think it's a pivotal game concerning what everybody calls the flagship conference, the SEC. All right, we got Texas versus Texas A&M. Now, people out there, Paul Feinbaum, talking about Texas still has an opportunity to make the college football playoff. I say hell no. Hell no. But folks are saying if they pop A&M, maybe. So I want to get the rundown and thoughts this week of Texas A&M. B, when I get to you, I need a score and a prediction. But ladies, you know how we set it up. And this week, because we don't have a Saturday show, I need your score and prediction too. I'm going to start with you, Theresa. Score and prediction, Texas A&M. And what are you looking forward to in the game?
I think that Texas A&M, their offense is just explosive. Their running back and their wide receiver, I think, is just explosive, and I think that is what's going to win the game. Even though defense wins the game, I do feel like they're going to overdrive them offensively. So I am picking a Texas A&M over, and I will say, because Sarah mentioned this last time, Texas is on the incline, so I mean they might go show up and do some things. So, but I really do feel like Texas A&M is going to win, and I am going 20. I'm thinking it's going to be tight though. I'm going 24-21.
Okay, Big B, what you thinking, man? Because you down there in that country. You down there in that country, bro. What you thinking, man?
I mean, Texas. The game's in Texas. But Texas, I just don't think their offense is going to do enough. I think Texas A&M's defense is going to show up. And they put a lot of points. I don't think the game's going to be super high scoring. I just don't believe that. But I think A&M is a better football team, so I'm going to give A&M the edge, 23-17 in a close one.
Ooh. All right, Sarah, what you got and what you thinking for this game? And the Longhorn boys versus them Aggies. And a lot of Longhorns feel like they their little brother. Like they own them. They're very disrespectful concerning A&M. But A&M's been the squad this year. So what you thinking?
Well, that's why I'm like A&M has always had that. And last year, I mean, Texas kind of put the nail in the coffin and also made themselves go into the playoffs after they played A&M at the end of the year. And A&M, is playing for everything. They're going to make the playoffs. It's pretty much more Elko finally being like, hey, like, pay attention to us. We're worth something. And Texas was on its way up. Having the loss against Georgia, then the Arkansas win. Yeah, definitely good. But there's I was reading, people were like, oh yeah, Manning's staying protected. He's throwing better balls and everything like that. Uh-huh. But he's still getting sacked. And that is one thing A&M has, is they have a great front that is going to put a lot of pressure on him. Kid has 11 and a half sacks just himself. Mm-hmm. And they haven't even had to use the defense as much until, they had to come from behind 2 weeks ago. Half of them were rested because half of them didn't have to play this past week because they played a nothing of enough team of Samford, which, put up 48 points. There's so much going in the direction for them. And I mean, come on, I'm going to go for them because I picked their quarterback to possibly win the Heisman this year. And I think if he plays as well as he can play with a lot of no errors, stuff like that, I could see him really having that type of game. Their biggest weaknesses on both sides is they get heavily penalized. And if they lose a lot of yardage, that's going to be where one of them is going to take advantage. And it's going to end up, Texas could take advantage of that. So I'm going with Texas A&M. I'm kind of in the same realm. I think it's going to be a little bit on the lower scoring. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. So I was going to go with 27-24 A&M.
I guess my question is this, and I'm not to you guys, but my internal thinking. Can Steve Sarkisian get out of his own way? Because that's the issue. The issue is they have top 5 defensive talent on that team. They have a quarterback that is getting better. He was overhyped off the gate. He's supposed to be the savior and all whatever else, but he's played better. They've learned how to stretch it vertically. The problem with Texas is they can't run the damn ball at all. They don't know how to run the ball, and that will play directly into A&M's strength. But we saw Reed lay an egg in the first half of a game. Now, South Carolina, your coach should be fired. That's ridiculous. You was up that many points and you lost that game.
That was crazy.
But I have to realistically say that I think A&M's on a mission. A&M reminds me a lot of the Ohio State team from last year. A lot of returning starters, a lot of guys that feel like, look at B, mad and upset. But that's the formula in college football. Notre Dame reminds me of Ohio State last year too. Mm-hmm. A lot of returning starters, a lot of players. They circle the wagons left. We left it unfinished. So I think A&M blows Texas out.
And well, then they can't remind you of Ohio State if you think they're going to blow out their rival.
Well, that's true.
You know what?
All I do is tell facts. And you said they remind you of Ohio State, then the next thing out of your mouth should have been, I think they're going to lose to their rival. That's it. That's it.
Nah, they're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to win. I think they're going to blow them out. I think Texas A&M blows out Texas. Give me the A&M 42, Texas 21.
Ooh.
And I don't know if Arch finishes this game. I think Texas A&M gets after them. They get after them. They get after them. They get after them. Oklahoma got after him, but they still won. But that's a whole nother conversation that's in the past. All right, we got the second game, which is not an in-conference rivalry, and would have meant a whole lot more if somebody wouldn't fumble the bag against Pittsburgh, the University of Pittsburgh. You got Georgia Tech coming into play. Hines King, who was a Heisman Trophy front runner or up there in the top 3 or 4, that smoked his chance to win a Heisman Trophy. But they can play big-time spoiler with the Georgia Bulldogs. I personally don't believe a 3-loss team gets in the playoff this year. And if Georgia Tech pulls this off, we're going to be looking at Georgia real strange. Real strange, because now you got 3 losses. B, I'm going to let you kick this one off. Georgia and Georgia Tech, bro.
Well, from what I watched last week, I just don't think that Georgia Tech's going to be able to match up physically with Georgia. You know, Pitt is a different team after they inserted that freshman quarterback. They're a totally different football team.
Facts.
But they didn't play physical, and that's what Georgia Tech just didn't do. Georgia Tech was supposed to be able to run the football, run it down their throat, and they couldn't do that. You know, not enough. They got behind 28-0 and were getting their head beaten in, and they came back, but they just not enough. But Georgia is a different animal. Georgia's on a mission. I just don't see them losing this football game. I just don't see it. I see them winning. And one thing I could say, maybe the game's closer than maybe what people think, because I think Georgia Tech may have been looking past Pitt, even though that sounds crazy, because you needed to win that game to be able to try to get to the ACC championship, which is the only way you're going to get in the college football playoff. But playing spoiler, I don't know. I think Georgia gets in the college football playoff no matter what. They're number 4. They've only lost 1 game. I think no matter what, they're going to be in it. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, facts. Sarah, what you thinking? Georgia Tech.
Yeah, after last week, man, Georgia Tech just laid a big egg. That was just, I mean, I was rooting for Pitt. I wanted them to win and everything like that, but I still really liked Georgia Tech. I liked Haynes King and everything like that, but that defense is just letting everyone just run all over them. And Georgia strength right now is that line and their running backs and Stockton. Everyone's able to break out. Stockton plays very little mistakes right now. Even last week, though, they won when he actually didn't throw any touchdowns and had the interception. So, like, they know they can win when they don't have a perfect Stockton right now. And they know how to stop the run. And that is literally Georgia Tech's entire offense, is that they run the ball, and it mostly is on both shoulders of Haynes King. And that's the sad part about it, is he is a great college football player. I think that, you know, if last week didn't have happened, he probably would have still gotten invited to New York, but you can't put everything on that one guy every single game. And that's all they did this year. And he's worn out. And I think that, you know, that he's just had enough beaten up out of him. So I definitely think Georgia is going to win. I definitely think it's going to be at least a touchdown, maybe more. So I was going probably with Georgia 35, Georgia Tech 28. And because they know how to put up points, but I'd be shocked if they pull the upset.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. Teresa, your thoughts concerning Georgia and Georgia Tech this week in the rivalry game. And are they playing in the Georgia Dome? I heard that they're going to play. They're not playing on campus. I'm not for sure, but I heard that they were going to play in the Georgia Dome this year.
Yeah, they're playing at Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. So, Teresa, your thoughts?
So when you look at Georgia's Tech's and you compare Georgia Tech's and Georgia's stats, Georgia Tech looks better. But when you see, and so that I look at it as like, okay, it could be a possible upset. But when you look at Georgia in real time, I mean, I don't see them overpowering. I mean, not overpowering Georgia Tech. So I also went with Georgia. I went for, 35-32. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think that Georgia will take it.
Yeah, I got Georgia blowing them out. I think Haynes King is done. He's done everything that he can do to try to get him past the finish line, and they look completely past the University of Pittsburgh. I mean, which was, like you said, be the only way they could have had opportunity to even make the college football playoff. They looked past them. So I think, I like that Frazier, the lead running back for Georgia, is finally getting healthy. When Georgia has a stud running back, look out. Because normally they have good pieces every now and then from the outside. And we saw that a few years ago when they was winning national championships. But Georgia is typically good when they got a stud running back and hella defense. We don't know the names like we used to know when they won back-to-back national championships, but that's because they're young. But they got a hell of a running back in Frazier. Give him the ball and get out the way. Georgia blowout. 35-14 dogs. Give them the victory, man. All right, now we got Navy versus Memphis. This is not what you consider an atypical rivalry game. However, this game's got some stakes to it, right? There is, whether people like it or not, and I heard today that the committee is pushing back the date, the December 1 date, to meet to try to realign college football playoff because Notre Dame, the SEC, and the Big Ten can't get all on the same page. So we're going to be stuck at 12. And as long as we're stuck at 12, there's going to be a Power 5, one of them big dogs to get into the playoff. Memphis still has an opportunity to get in the playoff. So, Sarah, I'm going to start with you. Who are you thinking with Memphis and Navy?
Yeah, I mean, this is also Navy's chance to possibly get into, winning the American. I don't think that they'll make it into the playoffs, but they have that little bit of chance. But I don't know. They're like the third team right in that rankings of the American. They know how to run the ball. I mean, they have a really, really great quarterback when it comes to college playing. Like he knows how to, get the ball and pound the ground. Yeah. I mean, he's over 2,000 yards when you combine his passing and his, he's almost 1,000-yard rusher. So, I mean, you don't normally get that too often. They have a really good red zone defense. I think that Memphis has kind of been on a downward spiral a little bit. They lost to East Carolina and everything like that. They know how to stop the run. They might be able to give him a little bit of pressure and a little bit of a problem, but I just think that Navy's trying to be a little bit more of the conversation. I think that coach, I really like their coach. I think that he's just in that next tier that he could possibly move on to another bigger school down the road.
Facts. I've heard that.
Yeah. So I think that he is trying to just kind of prove the fact that, we're a service academy. These guys have much more important things that are going on in their lives beyond football, but this game means something and they want to, be in the conversation now. And this is the second year in a row that they're at least in that conversation. So I'm going with Navy. I think they're going to put up a decent amount of points, but I don't know how super high. Memphis likes to put up some points, so it's going to be pretty much who ends up at the end. I went 38 to 31, and I'm going with Navy. And
got you.
I won't ever pick against Navy anyway. So
yeah, that's the big bias. We know, we understand it though. Big B, man, Navy and Memphis, man. What you got, bro?
It's like they said, Memphis is just they've fallen apart. Everybody was talking about them a couple weeks ago, and they couldn't handle success. So for me, give me Navy. I think Navy's got a lot to play for still here. I don't think they're going to get into the college football playoff by any means, but I like Navy as a better football team. I think they're going to be able to run and do whatever they want to do against the Memphis defense. So give me Navy 37-28.
Yeah, I like that score too, man. Teresa, your pick and score Navy versus Memphis.
So I'm gonna go against both of them. I think that because they were falling apart, I think they're gonna get it together for this particular game. I think their offense is, I'm talking about Memphis. Their offense, I think, is really, it can be explosive. And they were really good in the red zone. So I think that their offense is going to help them win the game. So I also say that it's going to be kind of a tight game. I picked Memphis 24-23.
Oh, now listen, I know Memphis has fell apart. I know they have, and I like Brendan Lewis, their quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think he's a dual threat. He can actually push the ball vertically, but Navy got a bunch of grown men. I mean, listen, and that matters late in the season when injuries and fatigue and all these other things kick in, what am I playing for? Well, Navy got grown men that want to play for pride. And I think that they flat out just don't want to lose. Now, they're not going to the college football playoff, but what Navy's got an opportunity to do is possibly win 10 games, which it speaks volumes about what's going on with the service academy because they're playing good football right now. So give me Navy. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Memphis has athletes, but I think Navy wins this game. I like the score of 38-28. I like Navy, and I think the Navy does a good, outstanding enough job with their offense, and I think their quarterback is healthy. Tim Lyons asked that question earlier. I think their quarterback's healthy enough and ready to play. And, I mean, this is it. He's got this, and he's got the game, the Army-Navy game. So he's ready to roll. Next game, the Pretenders Bowl. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody says. Tennessee does not, and I repeat, does not deserve to be ranked in the top 25. Hell no, right? And you got Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt, who actually is in some ways trying to establish to say that the SEC has an opportunity to get 5 teams in. Because if Oklahoma goes down, then who? Because Texas damn for sure ain't getting in. So Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt versus Tennessee, flat out to me, Pretenders Bowl. Theresa, I'm going to go with you. Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Who you got and who you like in this game?
So I like Tennessee. I think that their quarterback is, no joke, I think he's going to be more consistent and hopefully precise in this game. And I think that their running back, Bishop, is going to show up also. So I'm going with their offense. I am going with a score of 42-32.
Well, that's a high-scoring game. That's a lot of points. A lot of points.
I think so.
Yeah. Big B, man. Tennessee and Vanderbilt. The Pretenders Bowl, dog. The Pretenders Bowl.
I mean, neither one of them play defense, not to the level that you would want or that you would think for teams that are ranked as highly as they are, number 20 and number 14. Neither one of them do that very well. But my thing is, they're going to try to slide. I mean, they're doing everything possible to try to put Vanderbilt in this thing. And for that reason, and for only that reason, I don't even have a valid reason why, other than I think it would be an absolute travesty to put Vanderbilt in the college football playoff. That's it. Period. End of story, man.
Yeah.
So give me Tennessee. And again, neither team plays defense. Give me Tennessee in a close one, 34-31.
Man, I like that score, man. Sarah, what you thinking? Tennessee and Vanderbilt, the Pretenders Bowl. And I'm going to keep emphasizing it. All this diabolical bias, SEC bias, they deserve 6 teams in the playoffs. Get the hell out of here. Come on, Sarah. Tell me what you're thinking in the Pretenders Bowl this year.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to look at this and not really be able to it's hard to pick which team. I truly think it's a nice little rivalry. I mean, it's definitely been more exciting now that Vandy is actually a better team. I think that one of the biggest things that's going to help Tennessee is the fact that they're at home. And that the fans in Knoxville, they thrive off of these types of games. They love it. That they don't have anything else down there. That is, I mean, they have the Titans, which I wouldn't really want to be a fan of anyways right now. So that is all they have. They have college football. They love college football. That is their bread and butter in Tennessee. So I just think that it's going to be super close. The only thing that I did look at is that when Vandy decides to play defense, they are good against the rush. But if you are able to get the ball to Bishop and Thomas and even sprinkle in, I can't remember their third one, and it's really bugging me that I can't remember his last name, and sprinkle him in, you can get enough yards in there. I think that they'll start running all over them because I don't think Vandy knows how to come back from that right now. I just think that that's where their biggest struggle is right now. I think it's going to be close. The only thing I can think of is that Pavia, out of some craziness, will just be like, no, I'm putting this game on my back, and he'll just do something insane because he wants to be in the conversation also. I mean, that's all he's wanted to do the past 2 seasons is he's wanted to be in the conversation of the playoffs, the Heisman, anything like that. And he's got the personality for it. Yeah. The 2.5, I think, is really a kind of perfect. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go with Tennessee, and truly it only has to do with the fact that it's home. I'm going to go with 38 Tennessee, 36 Vandy.
Wow. I mean, listen, Diego Pavia has some people in the mindset of Johnny Football Manziel, in the mindset of Baker Mayfield. They're saying that this guy's got that swagger and that moxie. But Tennessee, like I said, doesn't play a lick of defense. They couldn't stop anybody. So how in the world do they slow Vanderbilt down? Because Vanderbilt can't score points. But like you said, it's a rivalry game. And this might solidify the fact that they might not try to replace the head coach Heupel down there at Tennessee University. If he drops this game, there's going to be rumblings. I'm not saying they're going to fire him, but there's definitely going to be rumblings like, look, dude, you lost to Vanderbilt. And you didn't beat anybody all season. You got actually beat up. So I think Tennessee is more of a flagship program in the SEC. So I got to go with them in a rivalry. Vanderbilt, they're going to try to push them in the playoff. They're going to try their best to get them in the playoff. But so I need them to lose. So give me Tennessee to win this game. I think by a reasonable margin. Give me Tennessee because they can score points 35, Vanderbilt 24. I think they win the game, and I think we get all this Vanderbilt talk for the playoff out of here, man. Next game, SEC big-time game. Now, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. We talked about the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl is a rivalry this year, and Mississippi State is really not that good. They have offense, but they can't stop nobody. But Lane Kiffin is notoriously known for laying an egg. And he might lay an egg in the Egg Bowl because every year he does it to himself. Ole Miss is in position to do something. He messes it up. So I'm going to start with you. Ole Miss, Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. The big-time rivalry down there in the SEC.
I mean, look, if first of all, let's keep into context. Lane Kiffin is leaving Ole Miss. Okay? The whole thing about it, if saying he's got to make a decision after the Egg Bowl. What decision would I have to make after a rivalry game if I'm staying at my school? There's no decision that would be made. I would immediately come out with it because I don't want recruits to leave. I don't want people transferring. I want my team focused because we're trying to win a national championship. That would be the only thing that I cared about. So he's leaving. Okay, that's number one. And to not think that that's not going to have an effect, it will have an effect, but Mississippi State's not any good.
No.
So there's that. I mean, they're just not good enough. I know they've played some teams fairly tough this year. Early in the season, they beat Arizona State, who Arizona State is a pretty good team. They were when they had their quarterback there.
Facts.
But after all said and done, Ole Miss is just better. And Ole Miss is going to score a lot of points on that Mississippi State team who does not play any defense. Give me Ole Miss 45-17.
Wow.
I think it's a blowout.
That's a beat down, dog. Wait a minute, hold on, bro.
Will be.
I got to get a preface to that because we normally don't go there, but that's a beat down.
Boy, your mama told me you was disrespecting her, okay? So pick one. Either way it go, this ends with you getting a whooping.
Somebody getting that ass whooped. I don't know. Big B says somebody's getting punished this week.
Yes,
all right, Teresa, who you think? Yeah, somebody's getting blown out. Teresa, who are you saying with Ole Miss and Mississippi State?
I agree with both of you. I think Mississippi State is not going to doesn't have the ability to overdrive the offense of Ole Miss, and so I did also pick Ole Miss, and my score is 32-34. I mean, I'm sorry, 32-24.
Oh, got you, Sarah. What you thinking with the Egg Bowl? And like Kiffin's out of there, we know it. He's gone. But I think he's going to LSU. But that's just me. Mm-hmm. That's just me. I think he's going to LSU.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm like the only person. Usually, I don't know about you, B, but I'm the only person that likes to defend Kiffin. I like him. I like what he does. And the belt to ass thing, actually, he did it a couple weeks ago when Lacey, whenever they were celebrating one of their wins, which I just thought was pure his way of life. Like, that's just how he is. But yeah, I mean, they're a much better team. They have a very, very good offense. And I want to hope that he stays in some ways, but when you announce a week before the game and say, hey, we're going to make an announcement at the end of this game, you kind of know something big's coming. Yeah. And that is my only thing that makes me, I don't know. I still think they're going to win. They just have better players, but like, that's the only thing that gives me like, oh, what, you know, Mississippi State might like come in hot and then Ole Miss like figures it out and everything like that. But I wish he would stay because he would get a statue. He would get a stadium. He would get anything that he wanted if he stayed there because they've never been good at this point, other than like a couple players coming out every other year. So that's my like little hope in my deep down. But I went 42-21. Ole Miss is going to run all over them. Mississippi State, they have won one game in the.
Your mama told me you was disrespecting her, okay? So pick one. Either way it go, this ends with you getting a whooping.
Damn, back to back. Go ahead, Sarah. Go ahead.
No, I mean that's and like I said, well, maybe he'll do that again this week if he wins the Egg Bowl.
Man, listen, something is telling me Mississippi State's gonna keep this game close. They're not that good, B. They're really not. But Lane Kiffin does it to himself every time. I mean, if you go back in his history, he does something diabolical that costs him an opportunity to get a position to do something great for a university. I think they're gonna keep it close. However, I hate to say it, Ole Miss is going to the college football playoff. And there's maybe the 5th team for the SEC. You might have Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma. That's the 5's enough. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's too many damn teams in the playoff anyway. But some kind of way, Ole Miss is going to pull this out. I go Ole Miss 28, Mississippi State 24. They get a late touchdown to win the game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've waited long enough. We are going to get to what we came here for. Let's get to it right off the back with this. Playtime is over with. It's TTUN week around here on the Level Up College Football Podcast. We came to talk that yak, talk that mess. I got a special guest just so people won't think we're being big biased when it comes to this game this week. Now, breaking news, inside information. If the game was played today, Carnell Tate would not play. He's not ready. Jeremiah Smith's about 65%, 70%. There's injuries in the Ohio State wide receiver room. That made Julian Sand look normal last week because otherwise, when he's throwing the first-round draft picks, he's a dotter. So now you got the D game, the rivalry game, and don't get it twisted. Michigan is beat up too. I'm hearing right now that Matthews might not play. I know they're starting left corners not playing, and they're going to be missing one of their linebackers. So there's a lot of injuries going on at Big B. So you know, they call it for snow in the forecast. Snow in the forecast in Ann Arbor, Michigan, man. So you the guest of the show this week. We came to get to what we need to get to. Ohio State travels to Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines. Big B, man, what you got, bro?
Well, look, Ohio State is definitely the better football team. They have more talent, but they've had more talent the last several years. I mean, they've had maybe not 2023. They didn't have more talent. They probably didn't then, but it was close. It was absolutely close. But you know, it's just one of them things. I think, look, Michigan's got their number. And it's also a thing where Ohio State has not been tested all year long. I don't want to hear about the Texas game. They had a quarterback that had never played in a real football game against real competition before. Oh, by the way, he's not even very good. I mean, I was going to take Michigan. I don't care if they were 0-11 just so I could say Michigan beat Ohio State.
Wow.
It's Michigan. It's Michigan, man. They're going to win the game. They're going to line up in 23 personnel again and just run the football right down Ohio State's throat, and there ain't going to be anything they can do about it for the second year in a row. And just when you think they're going to run it, he's going to put the ball in the tailback's belly, pull it out, and throw one of them slow tight ends that runs a 5.2 40, and he's going to catch it in black shoes, running down the middle of the field for a touchdown. Michigan, but close, 20-16.
Wow, big. Wow. I mean, I understand. And listen, I respect Big B's football knowledge across the board. He knows. He knows professional football. I co-host a show with him over there on the Big Show with Steelers Almighty every week. But he knows. You guys just don't know the backstage conversations we have about college football. And he's got some valid points. Man. So, B, you said the Wolverines, TTUN. Sarah, who you got?
I mean, I'm always going to pick Ohio State. That's the thing. I mean, they're probably not 2023 because Michigan was a much better team that year, but it's going to be close. It's going to get tight. This weather is calling for a game with running. And that is one thing that they know how to defend. And we just started running the ball in Ohio State. So if we don't have at least our passing attack on both sides, I could see this becoming one of those. It could be like a 13-10 game or a 21-17 game. I mean, I am just hoping for a really, really great game. I think that it would be actually, it's weird to say that, but I think it could kind of give them the same drive that it did last year when they did lose because they weren't supposed to lose. And this is, they're coming off of not one loss, not even like a tight game really at all, pretty much this entire year, other than, was it Penn State this year, which was kind of surprising. Yep. So, they haven't been tested. They have had no adversity. And I kind of want to see them have it because that is what drove them to get to the championship, I think, last year. And we have a much better team this year, in my opinion. Especially when it comes to the fact that Tate is now, has become one of the star wideouts, and that defense is just hands down so good this year. And I think Patricia has really made the changes that were necessary to really put them in that conversation as being the best defense in college football, probably in the past couple of years. So I think it's going to be close. I'm going to pick Ohio State, but that's all heart, really, in my opinion. I'm going to the game. I can't wait. I'm so excited to just, fight with all of my friends who are all Michigan fans that I'm going to be with. I have one Ohio State fan that's going to be sitting next to me. I'm going to go, like I said, I think it's going to be super low scoring, close, 21-17, and I'm going with our Buckeyes.
Got it. Teresa?
I knew that was coming. But I won't be surprised if we lose. I'm never surprised.
Big B, look at this diabolical dude named Claude Bishop, bro. He said, Sarah and Teresa, thanks for making the show because the other two made absolutely no sense. Thanks again and happy holidays to everyone. That's diabolical. That's diabolical, Claude. Do you shoot your normal this week? Yep. Bye, Claude. One time for the one time before the turkey day, Claude Bishop. Get up out of here and get into that matrix. Teresa, your thoughts with the game this week, Ohio State versus Michigan.
So if Tate and Smith are in, Ohio State, I think, is going to win. I just think the offense is just overpowering. Defense is there. I think that they will show up. But I don't even want to talk about the talent because the talent is there regardless. I don't care what you say. The talent is there to beat Michigan. The problem is the psychological impact of all of this. You're down 4 and Ryan Day knows that he has to win this game. He has to win it. So it's the psychological piece for it. So for me, it's last year we lost because of coaching, my perspective. This year, I need everybody to show up, but who I really need to show up is Ryan Day. If Ryan Day coaches and gets them through, they'll win the game. I do feel like it won't be like our other scoring that we have been having and keeping them low, but I'm going to try to see that Ohio State keeps Michigan to 17, and I'm picking Ohio State to do 24-17 Ohio State.
Wow. Okay, so this is just my opinion. Number one, not Jim Harbaugh, but their current coach, Moore, owns Ryan Day. He's did it by himself. He didn't need Harbaugh to get done what he got done with last year. And that's a psychological thing. Tim Lyons, man, thank you for the $2. He said the Matrix is where the bias is the truth of is Mr. Bias. No, stop that, Tim. Get out of here, man. However, I think that Michigan has been holding back Underwood for a while. I think Michigan's got a vertical passing game. And I like that freshman number 4. That kid is a burner. And I think that B, like how you said, they pull it out of his stomach and he just throw it over the top. I think you're going to see Michigan maybe go 4 wide and scare the hell out of Ohio State. Because how do you execute against a super fast, super athletic, super strong defense? You spread them out. And you let your quarterback become a playmaker. So I could see that happening from Michigan's standpoint. Conversely, I went back and watched some Michigan film. Michigan attacks on the edges. Where Ohio State has been susceptible at concerning their defensive front is the edges. Michigan goes strong at the edges. They run a wide zone running attack with extra offensive linemen and extra tight ends in the game. And they're just going to line up and say, our 11 is better than your 11 all day and night. And we're going to get physical with you. Conversely, I'll say this. Ryan Day, the longer this game stays close, the more that thing's going to pucker up. Now, I'm not trying to get banned by the FCC, but there's some puckering going on in Ohio State. And I think it's about semi-close right about now. And the closer we get to where we don't have a word out of Columbus, Ohio on the status of Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, the more it's going to pucker up. And that's Coach Day. So can he lean on the running game? Can he get production out of Porter, out of Graham? Porter didn't play last week because of injury. He's going to play this week. Graham played last week and he looked like a freshman. Does he get any production at the wide receiver if he doesn't have Smith and Tate? Because that makes a whole lot of difference.
Does.
Coach Day, hey man, as diabolical as this sounds, you lose this game, there's going to be chatter for your job. You can't lose 5 in a row to your rivalry. I don't care how many damn national championships you got. I don't care how many national championships you got. You cannot lose 5 in a row. This is all on you. Doomsday scenario, that scores 13-10 going into the fourth quarter. Because Sharon Moore at that point has got Ryan Day by the sweet and tenders. And he's right. I got him right where I want you. So this game, Ohio State's got one way to win it. They got to come out and punch Michigan in the mouth as soon as they start. They got to go up 14-0. They got to go up 21-10. They got to go up 28-10. They got to go fast and start fast. Because the longer this game lingers on, the closer it is. And I'm just being honest, right? Because
that's what happened last year.
Right. That's what Coach Day's proven to us. Saying all that, get Michigan's ass out of here. Ohio State wins this freaking game 35-17. They wear Michigan's ass out. 35-17 Buckeyes. They wear them out.
Let's go.
Wear them out. Get them out of here, man. I'm so sick of them diabolical Michigans. I don't know what to do. I'm tired of Tune. I'm tired of all this maize and blue. Get them out of here. The streak ends, B. The streak ends this week. 35-17 Buckeye boys for the W. For the W.
All I know is there's a new guy. There's going to be a new guy this year. Caden Curry. Last year it was Jack Sawyer crying. This year it's going to be Caden Curry crying. After the game, at least he won't be mad that Michigan's planting a flag on his field. At least he won't be trying to fight, say, don't be planting a flag on my field. I'm not going to let him do it. We're not going to have to hear that this year. It's just going to be, man, I can't believe they're just so much better than us. That's what you're going to hear. That's what we're going to hear. Again, they're just going to line up 23 personnel, 18 play drives, and that's all it's going to be. That's all it's going to be. There's not going to be anything you can do about it, and you're going to say, damn, B, how'd you know? Hey, when you're the more physical dominant football team, that's what usually wins, right? Physicality.
Yeah,
Isn't that what
facts.
usually wins?
Facts.
And Michigan's going to get physical, just like you said, and attack edges. And what'd you say Ohio State was?
Weak on the edge. They're weak on the edge. They're weak on the edge. That's
So
how
there
they
you
win.
go. I'm just telling you, it's going to be another guy crying, another guy sad, and he's going to get plastered all over the place, crying at the game. And I love it. I love it.
And Big B, the great one said he actually thinks that Caden Curry won the game by sacking Underwood and giving Ohio State the offense to kneel it down.
Nah. They'll just run right at him. They'll just keep running right. Ask Jack Sawyer how it felt to just have a team just run at you repeatedly over and over and over again, and you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
I get it. Now, last point, and this is the diabolical point about the Big Ten. You know, a lot of Big Ten fanatics actually want Michigan to win this game because you know what could happen? If Oregon loses to Washington, and oh my God, let Purdue some kind of way pull an upset against their rival Indiana, Ohio State and Michigan playing the Big Ten championship game against each other again.
Yeah,
and that would damn near put 4 teams in the playoff, guaranteed.
But there's no chance. There's no chance.
I give Washington a chance to beat Oregon.
Yeah, but Purdue's not going to beat. Purdue won't score more than 10 points against Indiana. They might not score 3 against Indiana. In Indiana, you know that coach, he'll score 60.
Yeah, he don't give a damn.
Don't care.
He doesn't give a damn
if he can.
Yeah, he's going to try to score.
Yeah,
and
he'll run the score up and won't think twice about it. So
and that's
Purdue's not going to win that game.
Yeah, that's why Coach Day, you got to have Indiana's head coach's mentality. Run that score up, dog. Ain't no mercy killing. You going for 50. Exactly. Try to get 50 on them. Because I'm telling y'all, the guys on the truth, the longer that game stays close, the tighter it gets.
I agree.
And it's tighter. Now,
why do you think it's going to be a blowout, though?
Because that's the only way they can win.
Oh,
the only way they can win. That's the only way they can win.
If the
game's close, I give advantage Sharon Moore.
Gotcha.
I'm being honest. They got to blow
game's
out.
Close, no shot. Oh, well then, Michigan heard you say that, Big Pun. They're going to take the air out of the football and just say, you know what, 3 yards at a time. 3 yards at a time, fellas, because it 4 possessions a half. That's the 4 possessions a half. Let's see what can happen.
And I'm telling you, the longer that thing stays close, the more diabolical it gets, B. The more diabolical it gets. But I got the Buckeyes getting 35 and handling their business and getting over to Indianapolis. Get on over to Indianapolis. And we're going to talk about it on the show this week, for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the Level Up College Football Podcast. We thank everybody that was with us in the live chat, man. We appreciate all you guys rocking with us every Monday. There will not be a Saturday show this week because of the holiday. That's why we did our picks live on air with my boy Big B. Big B, tell everybody where they can find you at, man, going forward with college football and with professional football.
Right. With college football, I have on YouTube. We are on the Big 12 Insiders. Come and check us out. We do a show 5 days a week. Do a little bit on Saturday. We talk college hoops too. So we're not just a football show. We truly cover the entire Big 12. We cover the Big 12 when it comes to football and basketball. Let's just say that. So we do a ton. We've already started talking basketball because Big 12 is good in basketball. So we already started talking about that. Then obviously you can, well, maybe not obviously, but you can always find me Steelers Almighty, especially on Tuesday nights. If you're not already over there, come check us out. Me and Big G got a show, Steelers Almighty, but make sure you jump over there for anything Steelers related. We break everything down and have a ton of fun.
Absolutely. My 2 co-hosts, Theresa and Sarah, your final thoughts. Sarah, I'll start with you first. Your final thoughts as we close out this episode of the Level Up College Football Podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Thanksgiving. I can't wait. I'm ready for the holidays. I just want to wish everybody else a happy holiday. I hope everyone, enjoys whatever, if you get snow this weekend, or if you get rain, or if you have sun down there in the South. Which you guys will be lucky enough to have. I will be in the snow more than likely, but I just, can't wait until playoffs start. And I wanted to say this earlier, that SIG thing, that's a Yinzer mentality, and that's why he wins.
That's facts.
Because I'm the true Pittsburgher right here.
That's facts. That is facts. Yep. Theresa-B, final thoughts as we close out this episode of the Level Up College Football Podcast.
So I will be repping Ohio State all day, just getting hype up for the game. Last year I did a party. This year I'm doing it by myself, but I am having a menu. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm excited about the game. This is the biggest game of the year. It's going to put a smile on my face. So I'm excited about Saturday, and I'm just, getting ready. I can't wait to see Sarah on the screen. I'm like, hey, let's go.
She might be the only Buckeye fan in the sea. Yeah, and the camera will go on you if Ohio State starts to get a lead and all whatever else, and they show you going off and cheering. The camera will go on you. I've been there to the big house. I've seen that happen before.
Yes.
Absolutely. So make sure you guys check us out, like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody rocking with us again on another edition of the Level Up College Football Podcast. We will be with you through the college football playoff of 2025-2026 right here on the KnoItAllz podcast channel. If you haven't subscribed already, we appreciate you. We're growing by leaps and bounds over here, and we couldn't do none of it without you guys. Hey, listen, man, as my special guest, Big B, as my girls, Theresa-B and Sarah C, thank you guys again for rocking with another edition of the Level Up College Football Podcast. We will see all you guys next week. Have a great, wonderful Thanksgiving. Holla at y'all. Peace.